Hi, I'm Jack. In today's short video, I'm going to show you the features of the Lifetimes Connects connector that make them waterproof. So even here in Arizona, where we don't have a lot of consistent moisture, we do get fairly heavy rains, and any connector, like the one for this path light, that's exposed to moisture will corrode over time, and that'll be a point of failure in your system. So in a few seconds, I'll turn the lights on bright, we'll zoom in, and I'll show you some of the science behind the Lifetime Connects solution. Okay, so now we've got the bright lights on. We're going to zoom in so that you can see the detail of this, and we'll talk through what makes the assemblies waterproof. So as you've seen in other videos, or perhaps you haven't, three components to the assembly. You've got a base part, which is where you place the source wire. This goes under the source wire coming from your transformer. You've got a top part, which joins with the base part, and then you've got what I call an insert part. The three of them work together to create the waterproofing solution. So let me walk through just very quickly what the main components are, and then I'll put one together for you. And really the key to making these assemblies waterproof is here in the insert part. If you look carefully at the front, you've got two holes here, and these are for the fixture wires that come from your light, standard 18 gauge DBR wire. They also hold the silicone grease, so two important pieces there. Now you've got a smooth top on it, and if you flip this over, you can see you've got a very distinct bottom, which has a different profile and a different set of ridges. These smaller, sharp ridges compress into the plasticized insulation of your source wire and give you a watertight seal. With the silicone you'll see in a moment, you actually create a waterproof seal there. Just as importantly, on the top, you've got these larger ridges which interact directly with the valleys around the pins on the top part. So that tolerance is designed fairly closely. I hope you can see that, so that when you close this assembly tightly, you get a watertight seal with or without the silicone, but with the silicone you'll achieve a waterproof seal. Now real quickly I want to show you that you cannot put the insert part in upside down. If you do, what happens, you won't be able to close the assembly all the way. So we'll try and make the assembly close, and as you can see, it's impossible, no matter how hard you squeeze, to get that to close. So you can't make that mistake in the field or end up with a failed connection because the insert part's in improperly. So let's put one together real quickly, and I will show you what makes this waterproof, and we'll look at the evidence after we get it done. So in the field, you take your light wire, slide it into the fixture, okay, or slide it into the insert rather, and you'll hear that little popping noise. That's because the air in the back of these sealed channels is escaping, and it also forces the silicone grease out both the top and the bottom. So you place that in the base, push down, take the top part, and simply close the assembly. Now when you're in the field, it's pretty easy to do because you're not having to pick this up. You're just basically doing it on the source wire that's uninterrupted, and you'll put a zip tie on it. And when you seal this up with a zip tie, that's really to hold it together for life. You'd get a fairly watertight seal, maybe even a waterproof seal, without the zip tie. But what I want to do now is I want to show you, you've got a full compression of the insert into the base and the top to the insert. I'm going to cut this apart, and we'll look at the evidence and see what we achieved with the waterproofing. Okay, so take that off. First thing I'm going to do is open the assembly up. A little bit hard to open. That's a good thing. And I want to show you on the top part, if you look carefully, you can see not only are the valleys full of silicone, but you've actually got silicone all around these pins. When we pulled it out, some of the silicone residual came with it, showing that you had a really good contact for all the metal parts that are joined together with silicone. And if you take the insert part out, you can see you've got an exact center penetration in the insert part and through this fixture wire, which assures you've got a good connection. But you've also got silicone residual all around the pin windows, both top and bottom. We take that off. If you look carefully, you can see you've got the exact center penetration I talked about, but you're also completely now coated with silicone on the fixture wire. So that's waterproof not only from the front, but from the top and bottom where the pins have passed through this into the source wire. If you look at the source wire in the base, and I think you can see, if you look carefully, quite a bit of residual silicone around that on top of the source wire. Good evidence that we had lots of dielectric grease there to make sure that that thing will stay sealed forever. And if I wipe that off with my finger, another really important thing You've got to look real closely to see the pin's point of penetration. Now that pin went all the way through the copper core of this 12-gauge source wire, assuring a good connection, but it leaves almost no damage or imparts no damage on the source wire. If you connect the assembly correctly in the field, which is very, very easy to do, you're going to get a waterproof connection every time. The zip tie is in place to hold it there for the life of the fixture. We guarantee these, and if you take a look at the other videos we have up on the site, you'll see a field installation video and also one about what makes the connection so easy. So thanks for your time, and enjoy waterproof connections for the life of your fixture.